Can anybody imagine going through a day without the necessary supplies you need, such as food, water, electricity, just clothes that even fit you? Today, I'm going to talk to you about poverty in the Dominican Republic and the solutions, and why you should be against it and help. Hello, my name is Will Jones, and today I'm doing my speech over a speech board about why you should be against poverty in the Dominican Republic, and I'll give you some problems and a solution to fix it. Now, what is poverty? Poverty, stated by Merriam-Webster.com, says, poverty is defined as a state of being poor or just lacking something. Now, it can be lacking, it won't be like lacking clothes you want to have, or say you want this new phone or something. That's not lacking something, that's what you want to have. Now, lacking something, it can be water, electricity, clean water, a ride back to where you need to work and all that. That is lacking something. That's what poverty is. Now, WorldBank.com says the Dominican Republic has 41.1% of people living in poverty. So that's 4.3 million people out of 10.5 million people in poverty. Let me re-say that. 4.3 million people living in poverty out of 10.5 million. That's basically just a little bit less than the state of, not the state, but the city of New York City. Now, while I was going through the Dominican Republic, while I was being taken through the town, there's many street vendors, and they would sell just anything: lollipops, car wipers, posters, newspapers. I mean, it was in the Dominican Republic. They're more offensive driving, so they'll swerve, drive anywhere. They're probably one of the best drivers and most craziest drivers. So, toast to them, the street vendors that are out there. And also, they're beggars. I saw tons of people in wheelchairs in the middle of the road. And I remember one man that was in the road, he was walking around just tapping windows, asking for money. And one of his arms was normal size, and one of his arms, that's how low it came, and it was just a twig. Now, government is also one of the problems of why you should be helping this and why you should be against the poverty in there. It's a representative democracy, and also the president holds one of the terms, which is kind of crazy because they don't directly vote for them, but they vote for people that vote for the president, and he's the one of the terms, so it's kind of not as good as the U.S., but you know, it works too. And I know they have a White House, but it's just the president's house. It's a big, lavish house, just as huger than the White House. And there's guards everywhere, Porsches, Range Rovers, all around the house and all that, which is why that's why you should be helping. And also, WorldPovertyPortal.com says the country's main source of income is tourism. So government gives money to the most touristic areas and leaving little money to rural areas, which is already a bad idea because rural areas, they don't make that much money at all. They have very low income. And also explain why it's a very bad idea later on. Now, while I was on my mission trip, I went through several areas, and such as Mocha, Punta Cana, the Santo Domingo, and those very major cities, beautiful places. Now, Guandolio, and that's where I stayed. It's a very beach town. It's basically just like a regular beach town here. There's lots of stuff, and also it's a country club. So we sit right next to the country club. So at night we'll be sitting out, and you'll see Porsches, Range Rovers, all that just to come out of there and just all around the place. But when I went to the mountains, I stayed there for 2 days while I was on a mission trip. There were hardly any roads. What roads there were is either dirt, paved, or it would be half paved, half dirt, just broken up gravel all around. And you see people just walking around on motorcycles, and it's crazy how many people they can fit on motorcycles. I mean, I've seen 5 people on one motorcycle. I also seen somebody driving a motorcycle, propane tank on the back of it, and somebody sent a little propane tank. That's how creative they were. Let me say that. Now, money is tight in the Dominican Republic. TradingEconomics.com says unemployment rate's at 14%, which, if you think about what I've said earlier, the Dominican Republic has 41.1% people living in poverty. But it's 14% people in unemployment. Well, that's where the people in rural areas come in. They have, in the rural areas, since they have low income, they're more in poverty than not just being unemployed. Now, kids in the Dominican, most of them seek their way out through sports such as baseball, soccer, which are two big sports, and also basketball. And that's the way. They just don't want to live in poverty anymore, so they're trying to get out through the sports, and many don't make it, so they're stuck in that cycle of never again. Now, I did several sports camps while in the Dominican, I went to the Rawlings Center. Now, Rawlings Center is owned by the Giants, and also has Twins and one other team that's there. And it's for the farm system for them, and also it's for the Giants come down there too. And it's a very beautiful place, really, really nice. We hosted a camp down there one day, and there was hundreds of kids there, but they were probably the most competitive kids I've ever seen. I mean, little kids this high, scrawny, or kids this tall, very muscled up. They are super competitive, even just playing regular games, just child games. They're super competitive, always trying to bend the rules and trying to not cheat, but they're always challenging the rules and all that, and they're wanting to win. They're very driven. On the other hand, weather has deeply affected the rural areas, so it's hurting them. The Dominican Republic is located in the Caribbean Sea, and it's below the U.S., and it gets hit by many storms, tropical storms and hurricanes. Now, RuralPovertyPortal.com says many people living in the rural areas, they don't have much land to farm on, or they don't have any land at all. Also, the technological advances we have here, they also have in the Dominican, but since they don't have much land and they're getting crops get destroyed all the time, they can't afford all these things such as a watering system, combine, which is very expensive. They can't, like a little tractor can't hardly afford that. Now, while we're going through the rural areas, their land is very, very small and sectioned off. And there's two things to remember about it. One is we remember about the little tobacco field. Now, if you know about farming, you can't plant the same crop there over and over and over. It will just damage the soil and it would be hardly plantable. Well, that's happened there. They were planting tobacco plants, and they were just meaning, it was terrible. The ground was just dust, sort of black from the tobacco. It was just horrible. Now, there's also a little area that's all that had cows in it. Now, half the area was usable because there was a cliff there that dropped down into this deep canyon, and on top of there was cows, and like a 10 by 20 or about 10 cows, and you see they had a much area just to eat grass in, and they fell. They're dead. They're like dead. Now, there are many ways you can help this out. You can donate to the Morgan Project at morganproject.com, which gives money to people, most rural areas, and helps, not even just do money, just give supplies they need on that. Or you can go a mission trip like I did 2 weeks ago. I went on this trip to Score International, and it's a very fun mission trip. You go places you never ever think it would be possible. And also you can go do gap years. Gap year, if you go to Score, it's a 9-month study. You study Spanish, and also you go out to the towns and places and help out with them and do missionary work. Or you can go other companies, such as you can go to just gap year stuff, and then you just go help out, go backpack through towns, just go see what it's like around the world. Now today we discussed about poverty in the Dominican Republic and ways you can help. Now, it's not saying that you can go give all your money to the Dominican Republic. That's not what I'm saying. It's just you got to think about the Dominican, like they're in a worse situation than us. And that's why you should be against poverty and try to help them out. Now, I hope you learned about the Dominican Republic today and about poverty in it. And hope you can help out, or just go down there and just visit it. See you next time.